Alright gang, welcome to the 4th instalment of the York Review expedition, where we're going to Hornsea to complete Season 3 and finish the 3-quarter waypoint through this series. Having realised my time left in Yorkshire was short, I made the decision to do 4 episodes in one trip. With Hunmanby, Filey and Scarborough completed, and after a sketchy night of wild camping, I summoned my remaining scraps of energy and plunged south, hoping to find the final town of the expedition.
Hi, I'm Stuart Morris. I'm cycling to every large town near me in order of ascending distance and rating them, with the end goal of reaching Flamborough. This is York Review.
Unlike the last 2 episodes, the journey to Hornsea is quite long, starting with a daring escape from Scarborough, snaking round ambitious pensioners, and dodging midday Scarborough traffic.
This route's a lot nicer when the fog's gone. I can actually see things now.
We followed the lovely coastal road to Filey, but we didn't stay there for long, and after a brief visit we were already off again, skirting round Hunmanby and delving south past Flamborough, which is when something unusual caught my eye. So there I am, making slow and steady progress to Hornsea, and then what pops up on my map but something called the Rudston Monolith. Of course, I have to check that out. Wowee, that is a tall rock. You might remember in the Boroughbridge episode I said its greatest pull for tourists is the ancient Devil's Arrow stone structure, which includes the UK's 2nd tallest standing rock. Well, as it turns out, the Rudston Monolith is the 1st tallest rock in England. It's surprising that they're both in Yorkshire. It is believed the rock was brought here around 2000 BC, although why they built a church next to it I'm not so sure. After I left Scarborough, I was in a bit of a rough position. My legs were starting to hurt, I had no energy, and I'd worked it out. If I did the Hornsea review, there's no way I could get back to York today. I'd have to do another wild camp, which wasn't something I was looking forward to. My current plan is to get into Hornsea, do the review, a nice leisurely, slow review, and then cycle to Beverley, which is only a little bit further, and then get the train from Beverley to York. So it does seem like a bit of a coward's way out, but I've done the Beverley to York cycle before, so it doesn't feel like I'm missing out on that much York Review content. I really don't want to do another wild camp. And with the detour complete, I set off again. Briefly. I really could have done without this. I've got a puncture in my front tyre. It's gone flat. I tried inflating it, but it's gone flat again. I have to fix it. I'm short of time as it was. Already behind schedule, I quickly got to work. A new patch was applied to my inner tube, I waited for it to take hold, checked it had worked, and successfully reassembled the bike.
Happy birthday, Keith! Hornsea, 10 miles.
We passed very close to episode 38's Barmston, but dodged it in favour of the Tier 6 village of Skipsea. It had a war memorial which wasn't even on TripAdvisor. Very odd. At long last we did it! We finally managed to arrive in Hornsea, and so the expedition had reached its ultimate destination. Just look at how far we've managed to come over these past few days. Hornsea is a small coastal town just east of Brands Burton. A pier was constructed in the Victorian times and then deconstructed after being slapped by a ship and the repair bill.
Today the area still entertains holidaymakers and has a free port, but this has mixed reviews on TripAdvisor. Richard M complains of arrogant people and being knocked by a shell.
I've actually been to Hornsea before. When I was younger, my parents would take me to a place called Hornsea, which is a little town just beyond the scope of York Review. And one of the day trips we'd go on when we went there was Hornsea, so this is very semi-nostalgic for me. Certain parts feel a bit familiar to me.
I then strolled around the town centre to see if there was anything in particular I recognised.
Best Dressed Town 2018, with people going around dressed like this. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it again in 2021. See, Knaresborough is so nice that it's one of the few places that's been commemorated by painting. It's right next to this one, but I don't recognise this one. Where is it? Oh, I probably should be looking at this. Here we have the Hornsea Elegance bench, and it's one of the most interesting benches I've ever sat on. There we go. Comfort. The Elegance bench is one of the few pieces of street art scattered throughout the town of Hornsea.
I say this, but then I didn't actually find any more street art in my journey. Instead, I found a classic tourist town staple.
As an expert heritage trail walker, I have a special fondness for blue on white. The pilot J.H. Ross visited this cottage a few times. This is a house built by the Lord of the Manor of Hornsea in about 1687. And that is a very handsome statue hanging above the door. I'd be very surprised if Peter Acklam was actually the person who built this house.
As usual, the criteria for blue plaque acknowledgement continued to baffle me. I also didn't find much in the centre to remind me of my childhood holidays, so I took a quick stroll to another part of Hornsea through Hallgarth Park.
I started this trip by showing you England's largest standing stone, and I'm also happy to reveal now that Hornsea contains England's smallest standing stone. Of course, this is the reason you'd visit Hornsea. See the coast. This beach is a bit pebblier than the ones we've seen so far, but it'd still be a fun place to visit. One of the claims to fame for Hornsea is the fact that it lies on the Transpennine Trail, a network of easy cycle paths that span over Yorkshire and parts of Lancashire. So the span of York Review would go down here to up here. We cut off Hornsea, we include Hornsea, Flamborough of course, a little bit up here, North Allerton's around here somewhere, and then it comes right down. Pateley Bridge, Ilkley, probably like that. Skip Sheffield, but include Rotherham. I'm not saying it's a good system. Of course, I hadn't realised this, but this is actually a coast-to-coast route from Southport to Hornsea. That could be worth looking at sometime. Okay, so I didn't recognise the town that much, but I definitely recognise this area. I must have spent most of my time down at the beach when we came on day trips. So nice, you know, the nostalgia back. So this is one of my favourite spots in Hornsea, between the Marine pub and the public restroom. Because just between these two buildings, straight out in that direction to the sea, is the lost village of Hornsea Beck. And I'm guessing the sunken remains of this village lie roughly where that buoy thing is today, if the geo-tracker is anything to go by.
Hornsea Beck was much like Hornsea. It's believed to date back to the 1200s, and in records from the 1300s it was supposed to be the same size as Hornsea, and it even had a pier. By the 1600s it was no more, lost to the sea, but it's not alone. Follow Hornsea Burton Road for half a mile beyond the coast and you'd reach the sunken village of Hornsea Burton, lost in the Victorian age. And then you have Northorpe and Southorpe, villages on land which were deserted by its residents and were no more by the 1800s. Today Northorpe exists only as a campsite, and Southorpe has a series of scars in the land south of Hornsea Mere, Yorkshire's largest natural lake. Why were they abandoned? No one can say for sure. They certainly don't appear on Google Maps anymore, and for this reason, let's call these lost towns Tier X.
Most of them clustered around Hornsea Mere, which we're going to next. And at last we come to the Mere, a massive lake just off the coast of Hornsea, with fishing, boating, and a cafe as well. Or at least we would, if it was open. You can see it from here. I've done some scurrying and you'll never guess what I found. You can't hide from York Review, Hornsea Mere. There you are. You can see how big the lake is, it's huge. Here we are. Much better view. It really is a big lake. You see its footprint on the map and it's huge. Hornsea is a lovely seaside town, and while they may sometimes close the lake, the beach is always open, and it's a beautiful seafront to go and explore. I'm also quite drawn to their park as well, because the park is, again, a lovely spot to visit. Hornsea makes a great day out, and that's why I'm giving it a Yorkshire out of Yorkshire. And with that, we have finished episode 36. We are now 3/4 of the way through our series, and what a series it's been so far.
We've come a long way since episode 1, and I don't just mean in mileage. We completed the road to Hull, finished the northwest routes, and finally made it to the coast. We've seen towns big and small, picturesque villages, and stunning landscapes. My early fears about running out of content are laughable now. The greater challenge is trying to fit everything in. There is such a wealth of history and culture in these counties, even in the places you'd least expect it. It's been a privilege to make this show, and I can't wait to see what's left out there.
Right, that's it. I don't care what all this is about. I don't care what the big reveal is this time. I've had enough. I'm not the one who's failed. You are. We're 36 episodes in, and I'm still going. You have nothing to throw at me. I mean, what have you actually done? A few jump scares, a bit of chasing, messing with my maps. You think that's going to make me stop making York Review? I'm not afraid of you anymore. You are just another obstacle for me to overcome. You're like a puncture. And these outros? What? Are they supposed to scare off my viewers? Starve me of attention? I don't care about that. I could be the only person watching this show, and I would still make it.
Why?
Because I can. Because it's fun.
Not.
What?
2019.
Why not 2019? My #1 Spotify playlist?
Are you sure about that?
What?
Do you know how many of your followers are in Yorkshire?
No.
You'd be surprised at what I can do with a few subtle reminders.
Please, no.
Prompts to make certain users clear out old playlists.
No, please, no.
Just one more ought to do it.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll end it here. No more York Review, just please. You can't do this.
No, lad. No more lies.
No, I'm serious, please. Just, you have to stop.
I gave you so many warnings.
No.
But you forced my hand.
Stop!
Just remember, lad, you did this! This is on you!
I'll get you for this, Yorkshireman!
If it's the last thing I do!